RCI, Monday to Friday, 12:45 to 2 p.m. The Lunchroom. Informative, enlightening, provocative, engaging. The Lunchroom on RCI. Food for thought. The station that gives you, more lunch.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Lunchroom on Radio Caribbean International. We're back for a brand new week. It is Monday, January the 29th, 2024. This is program number 1130. I'm your host, Calix George Jr. Now, in addition to radio, 101.1 FM, you can get us at our website. It is rcistlucia.com. Again, rcistlucia.com. And you can download our previous shows, our older shows, there as well in podcast form. You can also get us live. We're streaming on Facebook. Just search for the official page of Radio Caribbean International, and be sure, of course, to like and share that, please, with your friends and family. And if you want to contribute, if you want to tell us what's on your plate today, you can call in to do so, and the number is 452-3046. That's our direct line here, 452-3046. And you can also message in on WhatsApp. That number is 724-0008. Again, 724-0008. You can call in, you can message in via WhatsApp. Now, some birthday greetings for today. Going out to Miss Donette Shallery. Happy birthday to you, Donette. And we're hoping that you're having a fantastic birthday celebration. I hope it's a great one indeed. And as well, sending birthday greetings to Mr. Kervin Daisy. Happy birthday to you, sir. Hope it's a great day for you and hope you're enjoying your very special day. And also birthday wishes to Miss Carla Crick. Happy birthday. Hope it's grand and hope you enjoy your wonderful day. And for those of you who are celebrating your birthdays today, you're also celebrating it alongside the great Oprah Winfrey. And believe it or not, Oprah turns 70 today, 70 years old, Oprah. So we're wishing her a wonderful and fantastic birthday as well. A bit of history for today, looking down into the past. In the year 474 AD, Zeno was crowned as co-emperor of the Byzantine Empire, together with his son Leo II, who was only about 6 or 7 at that time. In the year 661 AD, Rashidun Caliphate, then the largest empire in history, ends with the death of its leader Ali, and it was succeeded by the Umayyad Caliphate. In the year 1595, William Shakespeare's play Romeo and Juliet was thought to have been first performed, and it was officially published early in 1597, 2 years after. In the year 1850, in the United States, Senator Henry Clay drafted the Compromise of 1850 to diffuse tensions between the slave states and free states over territories won during the Mexican-American War. 1886 on this day saw Carl Benz patenting the Benz Patent Motor Wagon, or BMW, and Mercedes-Benz in Karlsruhe in Germany. That was the world's first automobile with a burning motor. And in the year 1892, Coca-Cola, that company was incorporated on this day in Atlanta, Georgia. 1896 on this day saw American Emil Gruber becoming the first doctor to use radiation treatment for breast cancer. And in the year 2002 on this day, the United States President at the time, George W. Bush, in his State of the Union address, described, quote, regimes that sponsor terror and axis of evil. And he included in that list Iran, Iraq, and North Korea. We now move on to our dish of the day, where we're going to hopefully get in contact with Mr. Joseph Reds Pereira. And, of course, it's all to talk about that success that we've seen by the West Indies cricket team over in Australia. So looking forward to that in just a bit.
Need tells for your home, I see. Bathroom, kitchen, pantry. Need tells for your balcony. Come down to Tells Plus, satisfaction guarantee. Tells Plus, Tells Plus, Tells Plus. Big tells with unbeatable cost. Customer service, A plus. With all kind of tells, come down to Tells Plus. We also got gasway and vanity. Books, doors, you'll see. Come down to mind nobody. We got the best tells on island. Trust me. We are located Lance Road in Castries. Bosses, you Grizzly, and Slack Street in Dufort. Telephone number 453-7939.
Serving now, the Daily Dish.
And welcome back to our program here today. Well, it has been a long time since so many West Indians around this Caribbean Sea have been excited by the game of cricket in the way that they certainly have been over the past couple of weeks, but in particular, the result that came over the weekend over in Australia, good 12 hours or so ahead of us, and we certainly have been on a high since then. A record, in fact, being made over there, and I think the individual who is best placed to tell us about it is none other than Mr. Reds Pereira. Reds, are you with us?
Yes, your levels are a little low. I don't know if you can improve it, but
okay.
I'm certainly with you.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks for joining us, Reds. And of course, like very many around the Caribbean, you perhaps will maybe following it live, but others may have woken up to the good news coming out of Brisbane.
That might well be the case, because 12 o'clock at night is not a great starting time, but it is what it is because you're playing in another part of the world. But what a major achievement by this young West Indies team, and all built around the excellent work of Shamar Joseph, who takes us back to the days of Wesley Hall, where he bowled generally quick and bowl people down. Same of Andy Roberts, Michael Holding, Joel Garner, Colin Croft, the late Malcolm Marshall, and Patrick Patterson. I mean, he displayed speed, control at that level. I mean, it was amazing for someone who'd only had five first-class matches in his life. Had been 2.5 years ago a worker in building, and then he became a security guard when he didn't like the heights. And what a star is born.
Indeed. And of course, he comes from your place of birth as well, Guyana. Yes. More on the east coast, eastern side, in Berbice, I believe, but certainly a remarkable story of change of fortune, of really coming up from very, very humble beginnings for this amazing 24-year-old.
Yes, I mean, this is a major discovery for West Indies cricket. I mean, he has brought the response when the West Indies won, the social media, was fantastic. The response by Australians, the response of individual people. Colin Croft just made a very big tribute to him. So did Ian Bishop. I haven't seen anything from Michael Holding, but I'm sure that he would be appreciating the work of Joseph. A.B. de Villiers says that when he read his background, the South African great batsman, he said it almost brought tears to his eyes.
And it certainly brought tears to the eyes of former West Indies captain, Guyana-born as well, Carl Hooper.
Well, it was more than tears. It was actually tears coming down. Same thing to Brian Lara.
Indeed, and let's take a little bit of a reaction. In fact, the clip that has gone viral of the commentators just at the end of that second test. which was being played over at the Gabba in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia.
He's got him! And he's off! The West Indies have created the most amazing thing here in the world of cricket. They are all running around the Gabba like you won't believe. Josh Hazelwood is cast at the other end. This is amazing. Brian Lara, take over. You're in tears, man.
It's unbelievable. 27 years to beat Australia in Australia. Young, inexperienced, written off. This West Indies team can stand tall today. West Indies cricket can stand tall today. Today is a big day in West Indies cricket. Congratulations, congratulations to every single member of that cricket team. What a wonderful occasion.
Adam Gilchrist, your thoughts?
Completely reiterate everything Brian Lara just said.
West Indies and won it by 8 runs. 8 runs. A huge performance by the West Indies, who came to Australia with little expectation of competing.
And that there, of course, the reaction of the commentators, some of the commentators covering that match, which came to a remarkable close, and which, of course, also saw Shamar Joseph, in fact, winning, I think, the player of the series. Of course, a very short 2-test series for the West Indies down there. But, of course, they managed to defeat the World Test champions, Australia. And Reds, just to very quickly share the last time, as Brian Lara was saying, that the West Indies won Australia, beat Australia in a test, was back at Perth, I suppose at the WACA, in 1997.
You're correct. 27 years ago. 27 years ago.
And in fact, just to quickly read out the team at that time, Sherwin Campbell was the opening batsman with Robert Samuels. Shiv Chandapal came in at third. Brian Lara was number 4. Carl Hooper, Jimmy Adams, Phil Simmons, Courtney Brown at the wicketkeeper, Ian Bishop, Curtly Ambrose, and Courtney Walsh as captain. And that was the team that actually was able to defeat Australia last, a long, long time ago.
Yes, you've done your homework. Excellent work in bringing the facts you just brought, and of course the actuality as the game ended. But when you beat Australia in Brisbane at the Gabba, it was very special. The Australians have always seen the Gabba as their fortress. You don't beat Australia there. And this young man, 7 for 68, and before the first test, 5 for 90. He has brought new energy. He's brought new confidence to the West Indies team. We have managed to go up from 8 to 7 already. And we have 3 test matches coming up against England in July and 2 against South Africa later. And I think we have a couple of fast bowlers who we can even produce a quartet along with Joseph and Joseph. There is Seals, who's recovering from a shoulder injury, and there is a Barbadian fast bowler, Young Holder, who's back to fitness. So it could be an exciting July. My feeling is, and that's supported by Ian Bishop and others, that the West Indies board should put this young man on a retainer contract immediately.
Well, it should have already been done if it hasn't been done as yet. That's certainly a no-brainer.
I agree, but sometimes it's amazing how people take time to get things done. He has just decided not to go on to the white ball contract that he was contracted to. He said that he's going home. He'll have to get his toe sorted out. Luckily, there's no break, and he should be playing for Guyana in the 4-day competition, which starts on February the 7th. And already, the reports out of Trinidad this morning is that people are planning to go and watch the 4-day game, which they don't normally watch, simply because of Shamar Joseph. Sure, in St. Kitts, where they will begin, Warner Park will have a decent crowd.
Right.
And it appears that so are the Trinidadians promised to go. So all of a sudden, there is new interest, there's new hope, there's new life, there's new spirit. And I said at the end of the game, no white ball franchise tournament is going to bring the same kind of joy and pleasure that West Indies got that morning when he bowled the Australian fast bowler, hit the off stump. That was marvelous, just marvelous. And this is a diamond. This is a new diamond that they have found,
right?
And it's really great. When he bowled Hazelwood, it was sensational. And you played something there. Two Australians have been criticizing Gilchrist for even acknowledging it was a great performance. And this happened today. Healy, the Australian keeper,
right,
and the former Australian captain who he lost the captaincy because of other matters outside of cricket. They were criticizing Gilchrist. They were criticizing Gilchrist. But
But one can say, even from a humanistic perspective, that contribution by Shamar Joseph, being injured on the 4th day, limping, still came back.
Well, at one time it was doubtful overnight whether he would play. When he got up the morning, I think basically you said he will come to the game. Mm-hmm. When he got there, things changed. Had to send back to get his clothes, and he managed to put the shoes on the foot. You see, years ago when fast bowlers were operating, there was a steel toe. There was a bit of steel in the toe. Well, that doesn't happen anymore because things are much more, well done with very light kind of bowling boots. But so he managed to put it together and went out there. He bowled 11.5 overs non-stop, except for the break of tea. He bowled 10 overs non-stop. 10 overs is
that's real and true determination and the clear inspiration there. And interesting enough, the words of Craig Brathwaite, the West Indies captain, after the match, and he said this, I must say we had two words that inspired us in this test match. Mr. Rodney Hogg said that we were pathetic and hopeless. That was our inspiration. We wanted to show the world we're not pathetic. And I must ask him, are these muscles big enough for him? And of course, a real challenge and response to former Australian cricketer Rodney Hogg there.
And it's like the statement from Tony Gregg in '76 when he says, these West Indians, we can make them grovel.
Right.
When we make them grovel, they're under pressure, and that really fired up the West Indians under Lloyd. Mm-hmm. And England got quite a hiding by the West Indies. So people have to be careful when they make statements because they really fire up people.
Another very interesting statement being made by young Shamar Joseph was that he is going to be committed to the game of Test cricket. And,
I'm so happy to hear that.
And that he's not going to be pulled away from West Indies cricket and representing West Indies for T20 competitions, as the case may be. Do you think that this event in itself is certainly going to inspire a lot more interest in Test cricket, perhaps in the Caribbean and maybe even around the world?
Yes, and when you have a key bowler like that can win matches, that can win matches for you, You know, the future is very exciting. Now, the key is also, whilst we are heading in the right direction, is if the ICC will change the present situation regarding ICC funding, where it's dominated by India, Australia, and England. As a small ICC membership, we are getting pittance, really and truly.
Right.
We're getting pittance. We're only getting 2 test matches. For example, the recent India-South Africa was 2 test matches. ICC has got to change that. Luckily, in England, we're getting 3 test matches, and I hope we get at least 3 county matches prior to the opening test matches, so that the team could, you know, settle down nicely and get some cricket under their belt. But it's very exciting. We have 2 South African tests after the 3 in England, and you know, the very Captain Bradford was calling for more Test cricket. They need to be playing more Test cricket. We are not going to play any until we go to England in July.
And do you think, I mean, of course, it's a very different time from back in 1997 in terms of the amount of opportunities for young cricketers at this point in time. They could be pulled in so many different directions all around the world at this point. It's no longer just about playing county cricket in England. They could be ending up in these Premier Leagues all around the world. And the challenge there, of course, to even find the time to be able to fit these test matches, which obviously take a little bit more time to play out. The potential for really having almost a specialist test team versus a specialist shorter form of the match team.
Yes, I think you know, very few in this test team would be playing white ball. You could say that Azari Joseph possibly is an automatic pick. He's a vice captain, and the white ball West Indies team now in Australia are about to start the ODI series. That is separate. That's separate. So we don't have a great you know, a great lineup of extra players. So we are operating with small numbers. But I think the ICC, just to come back to the point you're talking about, the franchise, the ICC is allowed too many franchises to be operating. And it drains the smaller countries very badly because it's an opportunity to make some money to ensure that you can look after yourself and your family beyond your playing days. But the ICC has not controlled it, and therefore there are just too many some low grade franchise being played. And one of the encouraging things about Shamar Joseph, he is committed to playing Test cricket and may go to the IPL. IPL has a window; it doesn't clash with anything. But the future all of a sudden looks very, very encouraging. And as I said, when you can beat Australia at the Gabba, when you can take 7 for 68, you are right up there as someone who is world class.
Indeed, and let's hope it really is a major turn for West Indies cricket, which has been so down over the past couple of decades, really now at this point.
Yep.
And let's see if it really is going to be inspiring of so many more individuals out there. Any idea of the story of how he was discovered, Reds?
Well, he wasn't discovered. Many people were discovered. I mean, they said Sonny Ramadan was discovered when somebody stopped at a match in South Trinidad and saw him and called Jeffrey Stallmeyer, the then West Indies captain, and said, "Look, you have a very talented young man." They brought him to the trials, and that's how he was discovered. No, I think he basically discovered himself in a sense, because when he left where he was staying at Baracara, he went to live in New Amsterdam, and there's a small river just off New Amsterdam called Kanji. And he came to New Amsterdam. Initially, he got a job on a building site, and then told the manager he wasn't handling the heights too well, and he preferred maybe a change of job, and they gave him a job as a security guard. And he then made a decision with his wife to try and focus on cricket. He got into a Berbice club, got into the Berbice team through very good performances, and then into the Guyana team. And the first game in Antigua, he picked up 5 wickets. So it is his determination, his decisions, his hard work. And you know, when you look at it, he's only had 5 first-class matches. This guy has come out as if he was in the best academy of the world with all the best coaches. He is very, very natural, and there's nothing wrong with his action. Beautiful approach, lovely delivery from the crease, and he bowls quick. I mean, you know, I made a note for you. I mean, he's in up the rear 143, 144, 145. I mean, that's top class pace. You know, that's pace that you know, give batsmen a lot of questions. You know, no, naturally, his own efforts, and I think his efforts will certainly be paid off. I expect that retainer to be offered by the West Indies board. I think that his own Guyana board, his president, President Ali, is very keen on cricket, and I think as soon as he gets back here, we will hear further.
Wonderful. Now, of course, in a few minutes, we don't have very much time at all, though, but we haven't spoken at all about some local developments right here in St. Lucia, and that is on Friday, the Semi-Pro League. Saturday, was launched right here in St. Lucia.
Yes, I'll be very brief. I know you're short of time. It starts on March the 3rd this year. There will be 10 districts in the Premier League: Leclerc, Dennery, Grosley, Deriso, Chazelle, Canaries, Mabia, Central Castries, and Soufrière. And what they call the Super League have Vieux-Fort South, Vieux-Fort North, Marcia, Babino, Roseau Valley, Micoud, Monrepos, South Castries, and Anseré. It will be backed by the government by, I think, 1.3 million and change. I don't have the change, but that kind of figure,
right,
to fund the first 2 years, and then with the help of the private sector and the gate receipts and things like that, the funding will be coming from different directions. Each player will get $200 per game, and each player will be paid money for training, paying money for training. The 4 venues that matches we played is Mendou Phillip, Dennery, Soufrière, and Canaries. The CEO is Francis Daniel, and one closing remark, and I know you believe in transparency and accountability. He said, every single cent will be accounted for to the public, which is heartening to know. Even at this stage, he was saying that we will account for the money that has been put into this semi-pro.
Right, and of course I did note the FA president, Mr. Lyndon Cooper, making the point that this in no way is taking away from the government in involvement in terms of financing, is not taking away into the control of the Football Association in the matter of football itself.
Yes, he made that point. FIFA representatives were attending the luncheon. I'm not too sure what else they are looking at here, but there were speeches from the Honourable Kenson Casimir, CEO, Francis Daniel, who did a great job, and then the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip J. Pear, who related the efforts to get the pro league, semi-pro leagues going, to maybe to try and to reduce crime and things like that, and wanted discipline, wanted punctuality, wanted behavior on the field, and wanted the communities to come out and support their various, people from Leclerc must come out and see Leclerc, etc., etc., etc. So it was a nice night. It was heavy rain, but a very, very good turnout. Heavy rain that fell, but it didn't deter people from turning up. But there may be more information to flow. So what I gave you is the bare bone.
Right.
But there are lots of dotting I's and crossing T's going on as we speak. I mean, Francis Daniels, I probably had very, very little sleep other than watching West Indies win, which I know he did. I think he's been all day yesterday. Saturday, he worked throughout the day trying to put this thing. It's because, I mean, they have tried this elsewhere. It's failed in Trinidad. It has succeeded in Jamaica. And St. Lucia wants it to work. But he did say, look, we're going to have some teething problems. We're going to have minor problems. And the minister was making that point too, that we shall overcome them as they raise their faces. So the public must be understanding that there's no magic bullet, This is a new experiment for the players too, the players and coaches. I gather the coaches will have to be qualified. Now, I didn't get in the information when that whole process will start, but right now they're meeting the various districts one by one.
Well, let's hope that it certainly goes pretty smooth. You said it's kicking off as of March?
March the 3rd.
March the 3rd. And how long we expect it to run, the season?
It didn't say, but I can give you an idea. I mean, in the Premier League, there'll be 10 teams, so there are 9 matches there. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at maybe 2.5 months before you get down to for the playoffs. Mm-hmm. The Premier League, you have 1 less team, so there'll be A matches. That was not given out, and as I said, the details of different aspects of it is being worked out now as we speak.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll get some more information as the time draws near, and when we can actually see those schedules coming out. So certainly, we hope that it is going to be a successful endeavor.
Well, I think an invitation to Francis Daniels to come in your program will be even better, maybe in a couple of weeks' time.
That sounds good. We'll try to organize that, certainly.
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay, good afternoon to all.
And thanks very much again, Reds, for sharing with
my
us.
Pleasure. Information is the right of the people. It's a great couple of days for West Indies cricket. Indeed. And let's see if we can really get more money from the ICC, pay our players so they don't have to go off the white ball, which Australia do and India do, but small ICC members just can't afford to pay their players that much.
Let's hope so as well. And thanks again for everything. And
okay, my pleasure.
A wonderful day. That's our dish of the day for today. And when we come back, we're going to take in our weather report and then to take in some calls.
This has been The Daily Dish.
One tells for your home, I see. Bathroom, kitchen, pantry. Need tells for your balcony. Come down to Tells Plus, satisfaction guarantee. Tells Plus, Tells Plus, Tells Plus. Big tells with unbeatable cost. Customer service, A+. Did all kind of tests. Come down to Tells Plus. We also got gas and vanity. Books, doors, you'll see. Come down to mind nobody. We got the best tells on island. Trust me. We are located Land Street in Castries, Bosses Juguzile, and Slack Street in Dufort. Telephone number 453-7939. Tells Plus.
Island star. sets, pieces and ground. Everything you need to sort the house out. For the best price and the latest style. Take a little drive down to Island Style Car.
We got the time to make you go. We got the time to make you say, quality, price, service, choice. It's all an Island Style.
Visit us at our showrooms in Belarus, Rodney Bay, on the John Compton Highway, Cass Street, and behind Ruby's Gas Station on the Library Viewfort Highway. So call us on 450-452 or 453-TILE. Island Style Tile and Bath. When you think tile, think Island Style.
This is Radio Caribbean International. It's now time for the weather news.
And that's what of course to the 1.1. It's now time for your weather report as of 12 noon today, presented by Island Style Tile and Bath. The forecast for St. Lucia valid for the next 24 hours. The winds will be blowing from between the east and southeast, near 15 miles per hour or 24 kilometers per hour. The weather, partly cloudy skies becoming cloudy at times with a few showers. The forecast for the Lesser Antilles, partly cloudy skies becoming cloudy at times with a few showers. And the weather summary, the Atlantic high pressure the Atlantic high pressure system will generate moderate easterly and southeasterly winds across the eastern Caribbean region during the next couple of days. Shallow patches of low-level clouds drifting along the wind flow will cause some cloudy intervals with showers over the Lesser Antilles during the forecast period. And this was your weather report as of 12 noon today, presented by Island Style Tile and Bath.
This has been RCI's Weather News. For more information, call the Weather Hotline at 454-3452. RCI 101 number 1.
Island Style. We got the time to make you go. We got the time to make you say, we'll have to make the right choice. Island Style. Whoa. We got the time that will make you happy. Island Style. Oh yeah. We make your dream come alive in Island Style.
We have tiles and thin sets, pieces and ground. Everything you need to sort the house out. For the best price and the latest style. Take a little drive down to Island Style Car.
We got the time to make you go. We got the time to make you say, quality, price, service, choice. It's all an Island Style.
Visit us at our showrooms in Belarus, Rodney Bay, on the John Compton Highway, Cass Street, and behind Ruby's Gas Station on the Library Viewfort Highway. So call us on 450-452 or 453-TILE. Island Style Tile and Bath. When you think tile, think Island Style.
And welcome back to the lunchroom here at Radio Caribbean International for this Monday. It is 20 minutes before the hour of 2 o'clock. And of course, if you want to add your voice and tell us what's on your plate today, the number to do so is 452-3046. Again, 452-3046. And you can also message in or call in to our WhatsApp number. That is 724-0008. Again, 724-0008. Just a quick announcement coming from the C.O. Williams group of companies about continuing roadworks on the Millennium Highway to Cul-de-sac Roundabout project. C.O. Williams Construction Limited wishes to inform the general and motoring public of the continuation of roadworks on the Millennium Highway to Cul-de-sac Roundabout project. The work activities will be carried out between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. and will focus on the following areas for the period Monday, January 29th to Sunday, February 11th, 2024. Presently, our focus of works shall be the completion of all utility works at the cul-de-sac junction and all sidewalks and drainage works along the Millennium Highway in preparation for asphalt works. Potholes and repairs will be carried out in the main carriageway in preparation of surfacing works. On the Millennium Highway, that will include road works, there will be single lane traffic on the Millennium Highway, drain construction between Saul Gas Station and Monkey Town Junction. There will also be surveying activities between the OKEU roundabout to the cul-de-sac intersection, as well as earthworks activities between arm number 3 and bridge along the road edge, left-hand side and right-hand side. As well, cul-de-sac intersection, utility works by utility companies Lucelec, Flow, and Wasco. Road works, there'll be single lane traffic along the Mon Road, East Coast Road, and West Coast Road. Sidewalk construction on arms 1, 2, 3, and 4. The work activities are subject to change depending on weather conditions and other unforeseen circumstances. Temporary accommodations have been made for the safe movement of pedestrians and vehicular traffic within the work zones. Traffic lights may be in operation. All road users and pedestrians are asked to observe the cautionary traffic signage along the road and exercise due care and consideration when traversing the cul-de-sac intersection and the various sections along the Millennium Highway during the execution of the works. C.O. Williams Construction Limited regrets any inconvenience likely to be experienced as a result of the ongoing works and encourages motorists to utilize alternative routes in order to avoid delays. And of course, they are pointing out delays are likely, and if you have any complaints and grievances from the general public, they can be submitted to the following number. It's one number. It's 716-0439. Again, 716-0439. As well, you can email complaints at COW St. Lucia, COWSTLUCIA.com. And that is a press release coming out of the C.O. Williams group of companies regarding the ongoing roadworks at the along the Millennium Highway and the construction of the roundabout, which is being constructed at the in the cul-de-sac valley to tie in the new bridge across the cul-de-sac river. So, of course, we do hope that you're having you've taken necessary caution in terms of that road, and of course, where possible, it perhaps might be advisable that you utilize an alternative route to avoid that area. Certainly, lots of potholes currently. There's some clear areas which need some attention around tunnel number 1. Tunnel number 2 in particular, just prior to the roundabout to enter the OKEU hospital. Certainly that area there is very problematic, so we do hope that it gets urgent attention by the contractor as works continue, on the overall project. Now, of course, if you want to call in to tell us what's on your plate today, again, the number is 452-3046. Again, 452-3046. Now, unfortunately, another homicide witnessed in Vieux-Fort. And this happened last night. And one man is left dead as a result of that. There's a story coming from St. Lucia Times, which I'm just going to share very quickly. People ran for cover Sunday night as shooters invaded the Westall group in Vieux-Fort and started firing, terrified residents said. According to the residents, when the sound of gunfire subsided, one man was dead and a woman sustained injuries to her leg. Vieux-Fort police received the shooting report at about 9:30 p.m. and discovered a motionless man with multiple torso wounds along a concrete path. A medical practitioner later pronounced him dead. The police also encountered a woman in her 50s who had sustained injuries to her leg. Emergency personnel transported her to a medical facility in stable condition. One terrified Vieux-Fort resident recalled hearing multiple gunshots while in his home. Quote, "I just run and hide. Bullets passed through my home," the Westall Group man told St. Lucia Times. He said the shooting initially lasted for about 15 minutes, but resumed after a lull and continued intermittently for about half an hour. The resident estimated that the gunfire lasted for a total of about 30 minutes. Quote, automatic fire, single, 12-gauge rifle, everything was there, he disclosed. The man, who lives in a wall and concrete house, said he sought shelter in the concrete part of the residence. He was grateful that his children were at their mother's home then. The shaken man feared that stray bullets might have hit the children. He explained that the shooting had affected his business. The resident told St. Lucia Times the shooting occurred while a party was in full swing in the neighborhood. Quote, them man come and do their thing. They had children outside, elders outside, he recalled. Initial reports indicated that while the party was in progress, a group of shooters opened fire. The residents told St. Lucia Times he did not feel safe in the community but did not intend to leave. Quote, I ain't running from my community. Them man that have to try and settle themselves, try and fix their business, they cause that, not making no sense, he stated. With the latest fatal shooting in VA4, St. Lucia has recorded 8 homicides for 2024. Just last week, Police Commissioner Crusita Descard Pellius spoke on the spike in deadly gun violence. On Friday, she pleaded with the public to stand up and report crime, asserting that there was a need to dispel the notion that crime reduction was solely the responsibility of the police. However, several people commenting on social media declared that the commissioner must address trust issues and eliminate corrupt officers to win the nation's confidence. And that story coming from the St. Lucia Times, an online news producer here in St. Lucia. Now, of course, this matter is rather unfortunate, as we are well noting the number of homicides to date. Certainly is nothing of comfort, and it puts us in a very, very unfortunate situation that we've got to be very mindful of. In fact, I did mention the challenges that are facing over in the Bahamas right about now, with a considerable number of homicides there. In fact, their rate, given the fact that they have a much larger population than ours, well, almost well over twice the size of St. Lucia in terms of population, their rate is about the same as ours at the moment. And in fact, former tourism minister, formerly Honorable Dominic Fede, no longer member of parliament, but in fact still sits in the well, he is a member of parliament. He sits in the upper house now as a senator. In fact, placing concern regarding that we would not want to face the similar fate of the Bahamas. And that story coming from the Loop News St. Lucia, sharing this with you now. Former Minister for Tourism, Dominic Fede, has issued a fervent call to the Philip J. Pierre administration to address the burgeoning crisis that has the potential to impact St. Lucia's vital tourism sector. Fede's appeal follows the recent issuance of a Level 2 travel advisory for the Bahamas by the United States Department of State. The advisory, released on Friday, urges travelers to exercise increased caution, citing concerns about crime, particularly in Nassau and Grand Bahama. Last Wednesday, the U.S. Embassy in the Bahamas issued a security alert warning Americans about the alarming 18 murders that have occurred in Nassau since the year 2024 began. The alert highlighted retaliatory gang violence as the primary motive behind these incidents, occurring at all hours, including broad daylight on the streets. St. Lucia, facing its own crime challenges, has recorded 8 homicides as of January the 29th. Let's go to the phone lines at this time to take in a call as we take a pause from this story. Good afternoon and welcome to the lunchroom. What's on your plate today?
Good afternoon, Mr. George. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you, caller. How about
Family?
yourself? They're
All right.
blessed, thank you.
The madam all right?
Yes, she is. Thanks
Your
very much
dad
for
okay?
asking. He is also very good.
Yes, okay.
Yes, yes.
Let me tell you, but let me ask you, to what extent you think that aspects of, well, it can't be the whole thing, but aspects as it relates to small island states like us, that so Arthur Lewis's theories are still relevant and feasible, it could be, put into operation. To what extent? What aspects of them? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here with you. I'm here with you.
You prepared to take a dig at that?
You're asking me to become a Sir Arthur Lewis Memorial lecturer today.
No,
but
you have to
no.
be a lecturer. I'm not a lecturer.
No. But it was.
That's what we tell ourselves.
No, I agree with you, caller.
People must just be able to have what we're telling ourselves. That we could produce Arthur Lewis and everything, and the rest of us have to be dummies.
No. What I was saying, caller, is that we just had a lecture.
And just listen to.
And
you see, something is fundamentally wrong with that, And just listen to people who we feel, certified in this and whatever to come and explain these things to us and tell us them things.
No.
We will be missing the point. We have to
agreed.
Bring to the layman. So I don't see why you tell me I wanted to be a lecturer.
No. I said you wanted me to be the lecturer today. We just had one. That's what I was saying. By Dr. Jimmy Fletcher.
I listened to him,
but
and I have a lot of time for this gentleman, but unfortunately, I don't know. A lot he says, and I've said over the years, I don't really agree with, and I think that sometimes, if he knew, basically I feel if he knew all these things, I don't know sometimes if he's now rediscovering all what he knew. After 15 years of being in the top echelons of government, if he didn't know these things before, that he could come and criticize them so vehemently now. A lot of what our governance involving our governance.
So okay, so
that's why I'm asking the question to you.
Right.
I'm not really relying on anybody else right now.
No, but I think
I'll
that
put the question to you, my brother.
I think that
Let's have a discussion.
No, I agree, and we've spoken about it. We, in fact, have spoken about this in the past as well, and I think, and it was raised by Dr. Fletcher, I think, in his speech, that there's a fundamental thrust within Sir Arthur's thinking that you have to have a diversified economy. And I think we've made a shift from agriculture and we went into tourism, which is an interesting one because we kind of skipped a very important middle transition, which is industrialization and what that would have looked like.
Okay. You missed the middle one.
The mechanization, and not just mechanization, for industry, but just overall, even mechanization in agriculture, the importance of technology, I think, is critical within this context.
So then, without cutting you, so then, does that mean that the new industrialized economies, like the Singapores, the Taiwans, the South Koreas and them, did factor that in a lot? The industrialization and the technology.
Right, and I think they were there.
So that's a fundamental difference between the situation we're in now and where they are now.
It is a difference.
The big gulf between them, their economies and ours.
The gulf has become even wider, right?
There you go.
However, the nature of the technologies that are coming forward, we've got to be very wise in terms of seeing where are the opportunities that exist for us to make those leaps. There are some quote-unquote quantum leaps that we have to be making that would enable us to be able to be competitive with the larger,
in what areas
with the larger
do we make
countries.
these quantum leaps?
Well, I think one of the critical ones is information and communications technology. I think.
Yeah, but we have to make the leaps there. But how do we make the leaps there?
Well, I think it also comes back to one of Sir Arthur's very fundamental ideas that you've got to have know-how, right? And one of his whole...
You've got to have what?
Know-how.
Which is education.
Education,
no?
yes.
Yeah.
And
so which means
the
that
model that he was...
Our education system is where it's really fundamental to our fortunes.
It is fundamental, but
it seems that we're not recognizing that.
Agreed. But you know what? But you know the other trap, and I'm not sure how much of it is actually captured within the Sir Arthur Lewis model. That the trap that we find ourselves in this modern world is that people, therefore, your most skilled people are the ones which are in fact being pulled away from you. So here we have a situation of we're training. In fact, I think I saw one statistic that suggested somewhere about 70% of the qualified individuals in the Caribbean have migrated, right? So you find ourselves, yes, we are training more. We are training. I mean, you're seeing a lot of countries like the UE campus territories, Barbados and Trinidad. They've been training and training and training. They spend a lot of money on it, but they find themselves that a lot of their people are actually not staying. They're actually
so what you're suggesting, we're spending a lot of money on educating people, and they're just taking it to benefit them overseas.
Well, I don't think we're spending enough or utilizing it as best as we should. But we need to be mindful.
But whatever we're spending,
but that there is a significant leakage. There's a significant leakage
we need to
of.
Spend more. There's always need to educate and spend more. But whatever we're spending now, are you satisfied? Do you feel that that we're getting requisite benefit from what results from it?
No, we're not.
So, which means that even then, even what we're spending is that the insufficient amount we're spending, we're still not getting, value for it.
And one of the issues that I'm raising is that
so
because
what causes that?
Well, it's a couple of things. As I was making the point that you could be spending. Look, for instance, we've been training nurses, and we continue to be training nurses, and we find ourselves as quickly as we are training the nurses, as fast as they in fact are migrating. So you now have to get yourself in a position where you really have to ensure that you really, in fact, for you to be able to succeed in this sort of scenario, you have to be ensuring that nearly every single one of your people is being highly skilled and highly trained, right? And I think that is really where that challenge is now coming in. So we should not be thinking, well, boy. Like let's take the nurses again, for example. We're training them and we're still not resulting in better healthcare or insufficient healthcare. We have to be able to say that, look, you've got to be doing it at a rate faster than the leakage, because the reality is
but you see,
we will never be able to...
The other aspect to that leakage thing,
brain drain, if you
like. Normal
like.
human behavior for people to gravitate to where the grass is greener.
That is also true.
Okay? And people want opportunities that would compensate them better than maybe what they get in here. But also a sense of nationalism, pride in country.
Well said, caller.
You understand?
And
But hear this now. This is all, this doesn't always come naturally,
It does not.
Because, you see, and when you talk about Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew and his group, that is why I feel maybe sometimes the way we practice in democracy, it's not totally we're going to find ourselves invariably in that situation we're in, Because let me tell you, we like to talk about Cuba, we like to talk about Singapore. But you know a common factor there? Okay, Castro, I'll educate you all. I'll give our people the education they require to cope with the changing times. But you know what? You have to give back, So big salaries and everything grand was not always there in Singapore, Them people paid their dues with low wages and so on and so forth for a length of time, before they start reaping,
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the same thing with Cuba.
Very important points. Very important points. And you're raising... That's why we talk Singapore, but we don't talk about the measure of autocracy that was applied to get where they get in. Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about, and some people refer to it as a dictatorship in Cuba.
Well, or we can think of it as how well we take up on collective action, how well we identify as
contributing
one.
Education to your people. You have to show them you don't have no choice. You have to serve. You have to serve the government that sponsor you and go out there and do all what you think to think, not the government meaning the administration of the day, the people. You have to serve your people, And if we're not doing this sort of things, we'll always be spinning top in mud. So, you see, fundamentally, we cannot apply this gentleman thing without having elements that maybe, I don't know, that will be at variance to classical capitalism, theory.
Right. And I think one of the important
that's
points...
That's why some people say he was a socialist, because maybe he was talking these kind of things, albeit maybe in a veiled way, not necessarily coming out or out there to say it, to declare it. But, Calix, we have to play hardball, and if we don't do that, we're losing it day by day. We're losing control, and I mean, we could go on and on, but let me rest, because we've gone way beyond time already.
We have,
okay,
caller. Thanks very much for that.
Yeah,
and
thanks for
very important point that you made, the issue of national identity, I think is very critical there, that there has to be this sense of national pride, and there has to be this sense that you are part of a greater whole, because we've seen the impacts of that. If you don't have that, then that's why you're going to end up getting dirty streets. That's why people don't have an appreciation of their heritage, which is very critical there. Let's take in one quick call before we can end the program just very quickly. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Lunchroom. What's on your plate today?
Pleasant good afternoon to you, sir. I just wanted to add a little to the conversation one the gentleman was having earlier on. And really, you hit the nail right on the head with some cliche as we say all the time, When you said in terms of the brain drain, it's not entirely wrong for St. Lucians to get educated and then go out in the wider world, because we don't really serve St. Lucia or the region. We serve a global village, and it will augur well for us as the people. Say like you, Calix, go to St. Lucia, and you find yourself a director of a major company in China. I'm just saying somebody may say that may never happen, but we never know. Or in Singapore itself. So that would really boost our morale as a people. But the point you made, which is of utmost importance, when you said the ratio in which we train persons must be equal to that of...
It has to be higher. It has to be
higher. Yes, higher. So basically, everybody in your country, that's my view. I mean, our resources, financial or otherwise, doesn't really commit. But for me, every single person in St. Lucia should be on a level, educational level, whereby if someone goes, we have an immediate replacement. So we are ready. So that person is, everybody else can sit. But what we find is that so many of our young people are just dropping by, and basically we are losing our bit from a human resource standpoint and from the education standpoint. But it's absolutely important for our people to go out there and make a name for themselves and the country.
No, definitely, because I mean, you have gains in experience. There'll be opportunities that individuals get from that we'll never be able to get locally, and in fact, it can result in a brain gain later on. So it is an important. It should not be seen that it's just simply a completely lost investment. In fact, it can. People have remittances. They can make contributions in other ways, and that's why it's important that you leverage that diaspora. You see your country not as just the people in the country living, but in fact the broader set of people who identify as members of your country. So that's,
very well said.
Yep. So thanks very much for that contribution, caller.
You're most welcome, beloved. You're most welcome.
Have a good one.
Excellent.
Now we're going to have to take a break. Well, in fact, we're done. We have to take a break for the day here at the lunchroom. And so, of course, we can continue that conversation tomorrow. I believe on Wednesday, in fact, we're supposed to be having a very special guest. He's the incoming U.S. ambassador to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean. He'll be on the program sometime on Wednesday as well. And we hopefully touch base with a few other things happening on island this coming weekend as well. So that's all the time we have. Do have yourself a wonderful day. I'm your host, Calix George Jr., saying goodbye.